All right, my loves. Today we're going to talk about something important, right? A very important concept as it relates to locational numerology. But specifically, we're going to be talking about license plates because this is a very prominent source of numeric sequences. Now, this is the rule. Proximity and consistency equal potency. Okay, so there is a difference between signs and synchronicities and consistent diurnal direct influences. Diurnal means day to day, daily, right? Daily influences. There is a difference there. Okay, so when we're talking about signs and synchronicities, so let's say you see a license plate that represents, it's typically going to be an angel number that you're going to hone into if you're not fully versed in numerology yet, because you can recognize those. And those are oftentimes seen as signs of good luck and things like that. But there's actually more information being provided to you, right? And that's why I can't wait to share my book, because you'll be able to understand exactly what you're seeing, okay? Signs and synchronicities are more so brief reminders or confirmation sources. So there is a difference there between those kinds of sequences and the most potent timelines you need to be working through, okay? When we're talking about locational numerology, and we're talking about a concept like proximity and consistency equaling potency, what this means is that you might receive a sign and synchronicity from another person's vehicle, but the sequence you should be most worried about is your own sequence on your own license plate, because that is your vessel. That is your location. It's the same as house numbers, right? So I will broaden this video to include house numbers. That is a direct diurnal influence. You live there. That is the most potent energy, right? And as it relates to locational numerology, right? We're also talking about sequences that can be created by blocks of homes or homes that are attached in one way, shape, or form, right? So an apartment building, a business building, right? A duplex, a triplex, right? So let's say you live in a duplex. Let's say you live in 32. Let's say your neighbor's 33. That's your guys' sequence. You share those energies, but the energy that's going to be most potent is the home you live in, right? But that is still part of your numeric timeline. Because another manifestation concept you need to keep in mind, yes, numerology in and of itself is magic, number magic, right? Frequency representation. But there's also something called magic of thought. If you are constantly focused on a certain angel number, you will manifest the appearance of that. But by it being on another person's vessel, another person's location, and not your own, it's not necessarily a timeline or an experience that you are granted access to. Does that make sense? If you were being granted access to that energy wholeheartedly, it would be more present in your life. It would perhaps be on your own license plate, your own home number, but also things like your phone number, right? Or your credit card number, or any number, an order number that you receive, your own receipt numerology. These are direct timelines you are granted access to, not simply signs you see around you. And this is why I get a little frustrated with numerologists who teach things like 888 simply means abundance. Because then you're going to be waiting around wondering why you're still struggling financially or why you're not receiving the abundance you desire and things like that. Because 8 is a much wider scope, okay? It also includes justice. So what that could actually mean is you're manifesting justice or difficult energies that are justified from either past life experiences, energies that you've cultivated here in this lifetime, and you are now reaping what you've sown, right? What you've sown previously. And oftentimes it's something done by a less evolved version of you before growth, before your spiritual awakening. We still have to deal with those energies as they come back around. This is why it's so important to be strong, especially if you're tapped in spiritually. And the more work you do on yourself, the more you can recognize energies that are taking place. So remember, right? The difference between magic of thought versus involved frequencies, or direct diurnal influences versus signs and synchronicities. Proximity and consistency equals potency as it relates to numeric sequences. They can be random, and this is why it's also so important, because it's so much deeper than house numbers when it comes to a home. Do you guys understand how many numbers are on the building materials of your home that you can't even see? There are numeric sequences on the screens in your windows oftentimes, right? Depending on how new they are and things like that. They're everywhere, okay? And those are going to be the direct day-to-day potent influences. But as it relates to license plates, what is yours? What is your sequence? What is it telling you you're working through and need to focus on? Because I'm telling you guys, if you want to truly tap into those abundant frequencies and release yourself from spiritual jail and all these karmic cycles and difficult energies that most of the collective faces day to day, you have to do the work here in the trenches. You have to work through the dark 5 energies, 7 energies, 2 energies, right? The relational situation, relational energies that need to be bettered, right? Worked through, worked on, right? If you work with me privately, those are the different realms we would travel through together and do the work through together. But don't be afraid of darkness, because if you're not willing to go deep enough and you want to just do surface level healing, nothing will change. You won't earn access to any new frequencies. But if you do the work, my love, and you show the universe, you can break patterns. You can change your MO. You can help your spirit ascend. You can heal your soul. Ego work, inner child work, shadow work. Recognition of your wounds. Tending to those wounds. Intentionally leaning into opposite action. Right? That's how you break patterns. That's how you change an MO. That's directly associated with your karmic path and your spirit. Okay? So when we talk about these things, when you can do that and do the work, the universe will reward you. All right, you guys, have a great day. As we end once again with 11:11 on the clock, gaining of awareness. We have 1 4 times.